Bitcoin rebounds. Having flirted with sub 90k a week ago, BTC just hit a new all-time high. What's going on? Trump is back. As he prepares for inauguration, we examine what the second coming of the Donald means for crypto. And he memes business, picking through the rubble after Trump launches not one, but two meme coins on Solana. XRP dominant. It's back at number 3 by market cap as multiple factors converge to pump its price. Will XRP flip ETH this year? And a look at last week's top performing cryptos. No prizes for guessing what some of them are. Dates for your diary, tweets of the week, your feedback, and much more besides. This is the Coin Bureau News, live.
And we are live, and welcome to another episode of the Coin Bureau Weekly News live stream. Today, the 20th of January, 2025. How's it going, Guy? How you doing?
I'm tired, boss.
You're tired, boss?
I'm so tired.
Happy Inauguration Day, all-time high.
It's only Monday, and I'm exhausted.
It's been a crazy past 3 days.
Oh, man. Yes, you join us, of course, on Inauguration Day, a big day for crypto. There's been a lot of front running of it already. Crypto has been going absolutely bananas for the past few days. We are, of course, joined by our special guest here in the studio, the man himself. Yeah. We did have Joe Biden behind me, but he fell over.
He's a bit stiff, though, getting ready for his inauguration speech.
Yeah, I think he's a bit nervous.
Nice hairdo, though, Guy. I like it.
Thank you.
You look good.
Yeah, strawberry blonde.
You look good as a ginger.
Yeah. No, strawberry blonde, please. It's good to see you all, guys. Thank you for joining us today. There's a lot to talk about. My word.
Damn. Where do we start, man? So much.
A new all-time high for Bitcoin today.
New all-time high. 2 or 3 new meme coins.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. Just a couple.
Probably more on the way. Well, we're going to talk at length about the Trump inauguration and about the various Trump meme coins and what we think of it and what it all means. But let's, as always, kick off with Bitcoin. Nick, take us through what's been going on with the granddaddy crypto.
Wow, man. Last week was crazy as well. So let's start off with last week, right? First of all, it's a Monday. So as you guys know, usually 8 a.m. on Monday mornings, Eastern time, Michael Saylor announces his weekly buys, right? And I last week obviously did it as well on the stream. And we can have that on the screen there. He acquired 2,530 BTC last week. Now, of course, he also trolled us a bit over the weekend. He said, things will be different tomorrow. Now, that obviously implies that he's looking at his Saylor tracker there, and he's looking at another potential buy. To be fair, he probably bought last week, and it will be announced during the stream most likely. So, guys, of course, if it is announced, let us know in the comments, and we can react immediately. One thing to note, though, and I think with this was mentioned before, is that on the 4th of February, MicroStrategy is going into an earnings. And this basically means that prior to that, you've got a 2-week blackout period. And usually within these blackout periods, you can't do any sort of corporate actions in relation to issuing shares, issuing debt, and especially selling and trading shares as well, especially the insiders. So there is speculation that this could be the last weekly buy or the last buy until after the earnings blackout period. So that's worth noting. But let's look at what happened at Bitcoin's price last week, because as we said, it was quite crazy. So we started last week's stream, it was quite bearish, right?
Yep.
Looking quite bearish. Transfer looking good. You had concerns around Fed policy. Macro was looking bad.
Bond yields were up.
Bond yields were skyrocketing. The 10-year was skyrocketing, and there was concerns about this FUD of U.S. government selling. And there was also ETF outflows on Monday.
That's right, yeah.
And as a result, Bitcoin actually dipped below 90K, which is interesting. So there we go. They dipped below the 90K. The macro guys were selling out of their Bitcoin, worrying about the Fed, obviously. And then, of course, as we talked about in the stream last week, there were 2 important data releases during the week, right? This is both related to the economy, macro data points, and both in relation to inflation. One was, of course, the PPI number, which came out on the Tuesday. And this actually came in better than expected. 3.3% versus 3.4%. So this is producer price inflation, and this potentially laid the groundwork for an easing in inflation, right? Which obviously means potentially like the Fed is more likely to want to cut interest rates. But the big release was, of course, on Wednesday when we had the CPI print. And the CPI print, although came in at the headline number, came in at expectations, it was slightly, the core number was slightly down. And the core number is the one that's most important as it relates to, entrenched inflation, sticky inflation.
It takes out the more volatile
aspects.
Yeah.
And as a result of these two good inflation prints, we saw that Bitcoin reacted. So firstly, you've got the chart there. You see it reacted. We hit the weekly low at 90K, and then it picked up after the PPI release, and then, of course, the CPI release as well. And it started trending higher throughout the week. Also, in the macro side, you can take a look at, for instance, the 10-year, as we mentioned, the bond yields. After the PPI numbers, 10-year yields started falling, bonds started rallying. So inflation expectations started coming down again. We also saw on more data front, Coinbase Prime saw a massive inflow in coins, which basically generally Coinbase Prime is obviously institutional investors. Potentially large whales were accumulating coins ahead of the inauguration. We also saw net weekly inflows of 1.8 billion in the ETFs. Now, of course, we did have those 2 days of outflows on the first 2 days of the last week, but in total, cumulatively, we had 1.8 billion in inflows.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, renewed optimism because of the Trump presidency, which we will get to in a bit.
Generally, it's remarkable how quickly it turned around, wasn't it? We had the JOLTS data a couple of weeks ago. That sent it tumbling. Then we had these bond yields rising, and then inflation prints, which suggest actually inflation isn't as bad as people thought. It really does change on a sixpence.
Exactly, yeah. And then it was looking all good and everything. And then came the weekend with a curious few launches of a few meme coins, which we will get onto. We hit a weekly high towards the end over the weekend, and then all of a sudden, overnight, we had a mass liquidation event of up to a billion in liquidations, and I woke up this morning and we were below 100K again. Yeah, there we go, billion in liquidations. Look at all that.
Just Fartcoin.
Just Fartcoin. And I woke up this morning. Basically, and it was below 100K. I was like, oh God, what happened? And this was after the MELANIA coin was launched. I'm like, what is going on in the world? I want to go back to sleep. But then we this morning had a God candle to taking us to Valhalla as we broke through all-time highs again.
you just gotta keep paying attention, haven't you?
Man,
you can't zone out.
You can't zone out. You can't, exactly. So yeah, it's been one crazy past few, especially the past few days, but the past week has been one crazy one for Bitcoin, which is saying something given crypto space in general.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the only unsurprising thing, and I think we talked about this last week, and anyone worth their salt will have been saying similar, volatility. There's a lot of volatility around. It's hardly surprising. We're seeing it at the moment.
It's on a knife edge, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the options markets seem to be...
So essentially, that's basically what happened. Now, everyone's wondering where to. And obviously, a lot of this is contingent on what comes out of the Trump speech and the next few policies. So it's very difficult to try and trade what's happening right now. And I wouldn't recommend it, especially with leverage. And as a result, I'm also not going to necessarily do the TA right now because it can be invalidated so quickly with something that comes out of that speech. And it's just going to be generally volatile this week. Although if you want to get the pro trader's perspective, I will, of course, recommend you to one of the best crypto trading channels in YouTube. It's called Coin Bureau Trading.
Can I just correct you there?
Oh, yeah?
The best.
Oh, sorry. Is that that's official?
That is official.
Okay,
yeah, I have proclaimed
it's been fact checked by the guy himself.
Yeah.
The Coin Bureau Trading channel. Of course, to subscribe, you can look over here that way. Okay, I'm trying to get coordinate. Top right. Anyways, but there is one thing I can share with you, which is interesting. I picked up yesterday in terms of what's happening on the options market. We've got this. Put it up here now. These are call options. Now, call options for expiry at the end of January and at the end of February. And as you'll see, the bulk of the notional, meaning the amount of total call options that have been bought, and have been for January, the end of January, 110K strike and above. So most options buyers of the call options expect Bitcoin to be above 110K by the end of January, which seems pretty reasonable. And then above 120.
It might be 110K by the end of the day.
Exactly, by the end of the day, exactly. And then 120K for the end of February. So that's what the options buyers are thinking. Obviously, it's very volatile right now. Implied volatility is through the roof. Obviously, there's a lot riding on this speech. So yeah, I will encourage you guys to keep a close eye on that. We've got a lot of videos coming out on Coin Bureau Trading today. I think we've already had one, and we've got one coming later today that's specifically looking at this. We did a stream last week with Mariana, which is great, on the Coin Bureau Trading, and we've got some live streamers coming again this week, trading live streamers. So if you're not subscribed yet, you know where to go.
Okay, so an eventful week in Bitcoin. One imagines another, maybe even more eventful week coming up. And that is because it is Inauguration Day. Before we talk about Trump's inauguration and everything else around it, can I just please urge you, everyone watching, to like and subscribe.
The bell as well.
Yep, ring that bell as well. And if we get to 1.5k likes, if we get to 1,500 likes on the stream, then I will tell you a couple of the lower cap coins that I recently added to my portfolio.
Ooh, I need to hear about this as well. I need some alpha. I need some of your alpha, Guy.
Okay.
So guys, come on, please, let's do that. Let's do that. Come on.
So hit that like button, por favor. Okay, let's talk about Trump's inauguration. In case you missed the memo, today Donald Trump becomes the 47th president of the United States of America. This is a very big day. All of crypto has been waiting for it for a very long time, and it looks like it's going to be an eventful one.
Damn straight.
So I think in terms of what this means for crypto, the most important thing to point out is that crypto has apparently been designated as a national priority.
Exactly. Yep. Trump plans an executive order elevating cryptocurrency to a national priority and creating an advisory council for industry collaboration.
Okay. So this is presumably an advisory council that's going to work alongside or underneath David Sachs, the AI and crypto czar.
AI and crypto czar, exactly. Yeah.
And well, I mean, it'll be fascinating to see who is on that council. I know a lot of figures in the industry have been angling for
we know exactly who's going to be on that council. They had the crypto ball last week. You could have seen on crypto Twitter who was there. I think choose Rich Nick, probably.
Choose Rich Nick. Yes, I saw he was there. I mean, he must be a shoo-in. Him. Just get him. So and it looks like we are going to get a flurry of executive orders as well. Now, Trump is apparently preparing to sign. I'm hearing about 100 executive orders, which is apparently, well, obviously unprecedented. I believe Biden signed 17 after he was on the day of his inauguration. Trump obviously likes to go big, so we're looking at 100.
Go big or go home, man. Yeah,
exactly.
And like so the other stuff they're going to talk about, potentially ending crypto litigation at the SEC. That could be part of the executive orders. The National Bitcoin Reserve, the one everyone is watching and thinking about. Are we going to see any talk about that or anything in terms of the speech? And as it relates to potentially legislation, apparently, according to sources, that Mike Johnson, the House leader, basically wants to pass one big, massive, what is it, quote, big, beautiful bill by Memorial Day. This should no doubt probably include a lot of crypto provisions, and presumably the ones that Trump has been talking about on the campaign trail. So that's potentially coming as well.
Yeah. So a lot to look out for from this. I mean, just this first day of Trump's presidency, he seems to be determined to hit the ground running.
He's not president yet.
Well, I mean, he is going to be in a few hours.
Yeah, he is, but not even president yet, and already.
I mean,
it's not even set into the White House yet. Life has already been crazy.
So I mean, this could be one of the most consequential days in crypto's history. We're obviously waiting to see what those executive orders actually contain. There's been a lot of conjecture about it, a lot of rumor. We won't know for sure, but it's certainly shaping up to be a big one. Did you mention Mike Johnson?
I did, yes, exactly. Yeah, so this bill that could potentially be passed with the big beautiful bill that will contain a lot of different things. And then another one, of course, that was disclosed last week, not just a Bitcoin reserve, but an America First crypto reserve.
Just when you've just about digested the idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, just when you've kind of got your head around what that means and the possible implications of it, they then go and hit you with this.
It's crazy.
So this would be a crypto reserve made up of sort of US-made cryptos.
US-made cryptos, founded cryptos. Sol, XRP, HBAR are interesting candidates there.
Okay.
You said there's actually also this CoinGecko.
Yes, CoinGecko just added a made in the USA category. So if you head on over to CoinGecko, if you go along the top there, they'll have where they have the categories. There's made in the USA category there. I can tell you that those made in the USA coins, according to CoinGecko, are XRP. This is in descending order of market cap. XRP, Solana, USDC, Sui, Hedera, Official Trump, Litecoin,
Okay.
Uniswap, Aptos, Ondo, Filecoin.
Man, the Filecoin is. Yeah, it is the Filecoin
Okay.
Foundation.
Pudgy Penguins, Melania Meme, Tezos, Zcash, Compound Blur, and Basic Attention Token.
Sweet. So I can go super long USDC.
Yes, why not? You do you, Nick.
Why not, man? Wow. So of course, obviously, a lot of these projects, we'll talk about XRP in a bit. Solana kind of makes sense. Some of these also have, it's kind of weird they say made in the USA, because a lot of them have their structures are kind of, set up globally. Like they may have a development lab in the US, but they'll have like a foundation in like Switzerland or the Cayman Islands. So,
usually one of the two.
Yeah, but it is in Hedera, for one, I think is one of them that's had quite some, a history within the US with all these partners that have been signing up.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I think if you imagine there's going to be pushback against the idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, you can bet your ass there's going to be pushback against the idea of the US in basically investing in altcoins. So again, like, I first heard this and I was tempted just to dismiss it as speculation, but I mean, you just cannot rule anything out. And this kind of ties into something I want to close with later, just how unpredictable these next few months and years are going to be, which is going to make it interesting, but yeah, white knuckle at times. Well, let's look at another easy win though, because we talk about, there's all this talk of strategic Bitcoin reserves, strategic America First reserves or whatever. There are a couple of really easy wins for the crypto industry and for Trump in general that he could kick off with. The first would be the repeal of SAB 121.
Exactly, yes. The Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, very unpopular with the banks. It was this rule the SEC had around, banks could not custody crypto. It just didn't make sense. It actually passed last year, if I recall. And then it got to Biden's desk and he vetoed it, the rescinding of this. So with a simple executive action, he could, an order, the SEC could rescind this 2022 accounting guidance. And therefore, banks would now be allowed to custody crypto, and large custody providers, the likes of State Street, all these massive institutional providers can now eventually start custodying crypto. A big opportunity in opening up a lot of institutions to invest in crypto again through a regulated custodian.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard a few people say, that the repeal of SAB 121 could genuinely be massive for crypto. I think 100%. A lot of people may be sleeping on this. And as you say, you imagine that it'll pass. It passed last time. And as you say, only for Biden to veto it. Another easy win for Trump, meanwhile, and again, I think this is one that's really, really important, if only because it will show that he means what he says, and that would be to free Ross. I've mentioned this many times in recent weeks. Ross Ulbricht, the founder of Silk Road, who's already served, I believe it's now 11 years in jail. Trump is on video, I think, at least twice. Promising to do this. So let's see. Let's hope he goes ahead with that. Let's hope he goes through with that. There's also changes in coming to the SEC.
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously we're going to have Gary G last day. Goodbye, Gary. See you soon. GG. Then we've also got, but Paul Atkins could potentially be the new SEC chair.
He's Trump's nominee.
Trump's nominee. He has to go through a nomination process. However, in the interim, incoming Republican SEC commissioners Hester Pierce and Mark Ueda plan to revise crypto policies, including clarifying when cryptocurrencies qualify as securities. And of course, there's also, they're already there, so that they can have some policies changes already within the next, month, so it can come immediately.
Okay, so we don't know how long the timeline is for Congress to approve Paul Atkins as Trump's pick for SEC. So we're not quite sure how long it will take until he's in place. This is kind of assuming that he is approved. I kind of imagine that he will be. I don't think he's the most controversial appointment Trump has put up, so that could be a fairly long, drawn-out process. So, as Nick says, in the meantime, the likes of Hester Pierce and Mark Ueda at the SEC can kind of, forge ahead. They obviously voted, the ones that voted in favor, along with Gary Gensler, of approving the spot Bitcoin ETFs just over a year ago.
But Gary did leave us with one parting gift, and this may have been left and disappeared in the fray of what happened over the weekend. But like 3 days ago, the SEC actually sued Nova Labs, the developers behind Helium.
Wow,
which is crazy. Like, what? Come on,
I completely missed this.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned this earlier. So yeah, Helium, obviously big deep in project, one of the kind of Solana blue chips, if you like. It had a really big run last year. So the SEC. So yeah, this was kind of Gary Gensler's parting gift to the crypto industry. Another lawsuit.
There we go, man. Yeah. Well, he's not going to be missed.
He's not going to be missed.
So quickly, before moving on to the next topic, just some things to watch, guys, this week. Obviously, we mentioned executive orders. So these are the ones that Trump can do immediately on day one.
Yep.
Regulatory appointments, important to check who he's going to be putting in these agencies and how they're going through the nomination process. And then, of course, legislative agendas. So, the digital assets and blockchain technology laws that potentially could be passed, and what the Senate is recommending, and the House as well. So those are the three things to watch. Okay.
All right. There was plenty to watch over the weekend. So we better talk about that. Oh, right. So I wasn't really paying an awful lot of attention on Saturday morning. Actually, my wife and I, we went out for a walk in the desert here in Dubai. We went up to Sharjah, to Fossil Rock. We're having a nice walk.
What a time to take away.
What a time to step away. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because I kind of missed a lot of this absolute insanity that was going on. I just want to, before we start talking about this in detail, I just want to draw your attention to a tweet that was posted by Doge Toshi just the day after Trump's election victory. I've been thinking of this a lot over the last few days. Very, very prophetic. And so we got an official Trump meme coin.
Yeah.
This was announced on his socials, and I think the first reaction of everyone who saw this was, "Oh my God, he's been hacked."
Yeah.
That was my reaction.
Yeah, my reaction. Well, I thought it must be hacked, but then literally I thought to myself, it's possibly the most secured account on Twitter in the world. Impossible. It's just crazy. I just love. Look how slim he is. Trump is an absolute giga-chat. That looks like an image a hacker would use on one of those. Give me $2. Give me 2 Bitcoin. I'll give you one back kind of scam. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, oh my God. But I mean, okay, guys, I'm sure there's many people out there who'd love to know the fundamentals behind Trump's meme coin, because they want to do their own research. They want to know it's in tokenomics. They want to know what the use cases are. So I got you guys. Let's have the facts. Let's have the facts. On Solana, obviously, circulating supply of 200 million tokens with a total supply of 1 billion tokens. And get this, the largest wallet holds 800 million tokens, so 80%. Chill 80%? Yeah, just chill 80%, Okay, insiders, whatever. Distribution plan, 36% to creators and CIC Digital, whatever that is. CIC Digital is this Trump-owned company behind it. Again, more insiders. 18% to each of the two other categories, and a smaller tranches of 4% and 2% to other people. And then there's total vesting of 3 years. Launched at a market cap of 4 billion, and it's the 4th largest meme coin by market cap and 17th largest cryptocurrency overall. Wow, that was fast. Damn. That was fast. So obviously the distribution strategy of this tends to kind of favor insiders and creators a bit. You'll be surprised to hear. I just want to quickly touch on the kind of mainstream media reaction to this, which actually has picked up a lot today. I think in the wake of kind of the second meme coin. But I thought it was quite interesting over the weekend. Like, I was kind of trawling through, and we had a few mainstream media reactions from it. So Bloomberg, the FT, and the BBC kind of all covered it. Bloomberg, the old creating money from thin air. The FT went with is the president-elect of the US. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that the premier blue chip, financial publication in the US referred to a meme coin as a shit coin. That, my friends, is progress. That, my friends, is 2025. And the BBC was a little bit more circumspect, but yeah, still. But what was surprising was that the kind of reporting on this outside of the crypto media seemed to be fairly thin on the ground. Obviously, there's a lot else happening in the world at the moment. A lot of consequential stuff. I know that's hard to appreciate when there's so much going on in crypto, but there is a whole world beyond it. And of course, what's sort of one of the most, well, you could say the most surprising, but actually, when you think about it, the least surprising aspects of this whole thing was that this thing got listed fast. Literally, like on the morning of Saturday, most people were wondering, was this a hack?
Yeah.
And then within 24 hours, Coinbase was listing it. Can you imagine that? Listing criteria outside of the window. Who cares? It's Trump's meme coin.
He's the president.
He's the president. I'm not going to sell he's going to, why haven't you listed my coin? No, I'm going to list it. All good. So Binance, Coinbase, all the big top tier one exchanges listed it.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. So, and as Nic says, it kind of went everywhere very, very quickly. I guess because all these exchanges were looking at it like, well, this is obviously exchanges want to list tokens in order to get the trading volume.
Mm-hmm.
This thing certainly had plenty of that. And yeah, I mean, is the SEC going to go after the president, or whoever in the president's entourage is behind all this? Probably not.
Well, we're going after your boss. I don't think that's not really the best thing to do for long-term career prospects.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There was a good take on this from Eric Voorhees, actually. Dollars are also a meme coin, by the way. At least Trump coin has a supply cap.
This is true, And
yeah. I respect that. That is a good take. And then there was this one from Inverse Kramer. I think this is Inverse Kramer. Yeah. So obviously, kind of, I think anyone sort of hearing about this would have gone, "Wow, the whole of crypto must be pumping."
Yeah, the meme coin super cycle. Trump has endorsed the meme coin super cycle. I can't wait to check my whiff bags, my popcat bags. They're probably pumping right now. And you open up the charts and you're like, it's just a black hole that sucked all the liquidity out of your meme coins.
Absolutely. Just, presumably everyone just selling out of positions left, right, and center in order to ape into Trump. And actually, the only other cryptos that seem to be doing well alongside it were basically Sol and other cryptos in Solana's ecosystem, especially the likes of Jupiter and Radium, where you could actually buy this thing. And what was interesting was that I think at that point, the general sentiment on crypto Twitter, the general sentiment in the community was like, okay, this is a pretty Giga Chad move. It's
ballsy.
It's ballsy. It's a bit of a money grab, but hey, look,
we'll allow it. We'll allow it. Just bring us the Bitcoin reserve. We'll allow it. Crypto regulations. We'll allow it.
Yeah, it's controversial, but we're on board with it. At least it shows that he means what he says when he's going to be the crypto president, etc., etc. However, a lot of that goodwill subsequently evaporated, and the state of the trenches now is hugely polarized as I can remember it in recent times. Some people are still absolutely euphoric. Some people are very, 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 very cross about it all. And this is, of course, because the Trump team or whoever was behind it then decided to launch another token.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like I saw a thing on Twitter. It's like Barron Trump says to Donald, like, "Thanks for the phone, Dad. Mom, can I please borrow your laptop very quickly?"
Is that picture of Melania? It's like, "Oh, Barron, how much money?"
She's looking at his Phantom wallet screenshot. She's like, "I can't believe I got $1 billion just like that out of thin air. Thank you."
Oh my God. We are. I mean, this was we are living in a simulation moment.
Damn straight.
And there was a good take on it from. Can we bring up this tweet from Jose Maria Macedo?
Yeah, so this basically, he's one of the founding partners, I think, of Delphi Digital. And it's basically the TLDR is that he thinks that the people who obviously launched this Trump token didn't think it was going to be as successful as it did, and it rallied as much. So they may have sold a bit too early, and they may have not bought enough beforehand, and they thought, let's run it back again. Let's go and get more.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, a lot of the speculation is now, it's like, well, Trump has a fairly large family. There's quite a few of them.
It's quite an extended family and grandkids as well, know. So I'm personally waiting for the Kaya Trump. She's got the audience to.
I mean, this thing could run and run.
Yeah,
I really hope it doesn't, but it really could. Another interesting aspect of this whole thing, obviously, both of these coins were launched on Solana, and my word, was Solana tested to its
limits, man.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because a couple of weeks ago, we had the Pengu airdrop, 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Pudgy Penguins airdrop. And that, I think, was the biggest or the most on-chain activity that Solana had seen, the biggest sort of individual event on Solana. And in retrospect, it was a test for this.
Yeah. Or if you want to put your conspiracy hat on, it could have been that the Trump family was working in coordination with the Ethereum Foundation to launch this token so they could DDoS the Solana chain and bring it down.
Oh my God, that's 4D chess.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Can we bring up this tweet from that Phantom Wallet put out? So we're currently experiencing a massive surge of 8 million plus requests per minute.
Per minute. Can you imagine that, mate?
So
just try and wrap your head around that.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of failed swaps going through.
And that's just Phantom. That's just Phantom.
Yeah.
That's just one, wallets. I mean, people, through the exchanges as well. Many of the exchanges were suffering today, even today, with infrastructure related stuff in terms of people trying to withdraw Sol on, deposit Sol, etc.
So it's been a bit of a double-edged sword for Solana, because on the one hand, it's seen all this activity. Obviously, it was great for the price of Sol, although Sol's retraced a bit since. But I think there will be a fair few questions. I mean, basically, Fire Dancer can't come quick enough, right?
Yeah, man, we need it for the Trump meme revolution.
Yeah,
Fire Dancer's got to come. We need fast, efficient infrastructure to launch these Trump memes.
Yeah. MELANIA also got listings right out of the gates on some of the big exchanges. Both Binance and Bybit listed it. Bybit, you can do it with 50x leverage.
Guys, we just wanted a Bitcoin reserve with some clear regulations, but now we've got 50x leverage on MELANIA. Perfect.
Okay, and yeah, it's interesting what you said, Nick, about this idea of the Trump team working hand in hand with the Ethereum Foundation. We haven't even been able to discuss everything that's going on in Ethereum. Obviously, it's been quite a busy weekend for Ethereum as well. But what's interesting is that World Liberty Financial, which is the Trump family DeFi project, has been buying a lot of ETH.
It has indeed, yeah. So that led to a little bit of a bump in ETH's price yesterday. And World Liberty Financial also, they buy in other projects within the Ethereum ecosystem as well, that that over the past 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, it lends credence to the idea that maybe it wasn't a coordinated DDoS attack on Solana's infrastructure.
Maybe.
Two meme coins, one up, one back of the other. The gracious, or we could just think it was just a grift. Either one of those, theories works.
Well, yeah, what a weekend. And like I say, it was there was that huge sort of surge in sentiment for Trump, and I think they really screwed it. The second one. I think, a lot of goodwill evaporated. And it kind of underlines, I think, just how unpredictable the next few months and years are going to be. I fully believe that Trump is going to be great for crypto. I don't think it's hard to see how he couldn't be. But I think what we really need to be mindful of is the fact that he is extremely unpredictable. And I think the people around him are extremely unpredictable too. And I think we are going to, although we're going to see some great stuff for crypto in 2025 and beyond, I think we need to be prepared for the unexpected. Yeah. Because I think there is going to be some seriously crazy stuff going on. I think the swings that we are going to see, the volatility that we are going to see in this over the course of this year are going to be, there's going to be a fair few nosebleeds.
We're going to age significantly over the next 4 years. That's for fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. By the time we're doing this in January 2026, I fully expect to be completely great.
I need to start getting on some Brian Johnson routines ASAP.
Yeah. I need to
red light therapy, all that kind of stuff.
If anyone knows a good plasma dealer, I think we're going to need some of that. So folks, look, it's going to be an amazing year, but be prepared. It's going to be wild as well. And wild can be good, but it can also be bad. It can also be exhausting. So just when we say lock in, we really do mean lock in. You're going to have to, that means lock yourself in. Lock yourself in the house.
There we go.
Pay attention because, just look at what happens when you're not. Okay.
Wall of shame.
Yeah, we're gonna do a wall of shame this week. It's a slightly different one, rather than.
Again, Jesus.
So, who is on the wall of shame this week? Normally, we do it with countries that have contributed the least amount of viewers, but instead, we thought we'd just put MELANIA coin and Trump official up there for the shenanigans that they got up to over the weekend,
causing all of the crypto community collective stress. So over the weekend,
so they get the 1,000-yard stare from those frankly disturbing characters. Every time I look at that, a little piece of me dies. Okay, so that is this week's wall of shame. Shame on
you guys.
Okay,
right.
Now all this talk about coins made in the USA, all this talk about America first cryptos and stuff. We have to talk about one that continues to outperform, and that is, Nick,
XRP, the standard XRP. So last week was a crazy week for XRP, guys. I mean, it was just a complete FUD of good news around XRP. Firstly, in terms of price action, we crossed over $3 and we broke through a 7-year old high. So the first time in 7 years we've broken through that price range. And indeed, this also, even at $2.70, which is it broke through the market cap of BlackRock. So we exceeded the market cap of BlackRock. XRP exceeded the market. Can you imagine that?
Mm-hmm.
Madness.
Yeah.
It's the world financial standard. Yeah.
What's that meme of the guy going,
Exactly. I can't believe it. Now, a lot of this, of course, potentially was driven by spot-driven buying. So this is seen from these charts over here. As you can see, spot volumes are a lot higher than perps, and they're increasing. So this is obviously people buying it and holding it through a lot of these different exchanges on spot in the US, more specifically. And you can see more of the evidence of this, of course, with whale accumulation going on. This is from Sentiment, and this shows the wallets of XRP wallets with 1 million to 10 million in total, and this has been increasing over the past few months as well. And then also, and this is crazy, coming back to the spot-driven rally, last week XRP overtook BTC trading volume on Coinbase. How crazy is that? One of those days. Daily trading volume.
It's not that long ago Coinbase was forced to delist XRP.
Yeah, it's mental, man. So the XRP army are resilient.
What a redemption arc.
Yeah, damn straight. And it didn't only overtake trading volume on Coinbase. It also flipped Bitcoin in terms of search volume.
Wow.
Checks that out.
I swear to God, Uber drivers are going to be so thin on the ground. They're all going to retire.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You're not going to be able to get an Uber in most major cities for a long time. They're all going to move to the big houses in the country.
They're all going to be driving past you in the Lambo while she's sitting in the rain waiting for an Uber. When can I get my Uber? It's like, sorry, boss. No,
sorry, boss. I don't do that
anymore. No, man.
Yeah.
It's also getting quite close, cautiously close to Ethereum's market cap.
I mean, wow.
I actually think it's totally possible it could flip Ethereum.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. If this sentiment around XRP continues and the negative sentiment around it, I mean, the ETH community is just so demoralized at the moment. I think that we could have a flippening. We were once talking about ETH flippening Bitcoin. Not anymore. Not anymore.
There's also some fundamental stuff to look at. We've got obviously a lot of XRP ETF filings, the spot ETF filings, and many of these are likely to be approved. But one of these that came last week, or two, was a leveraged ETF. Right?
Okay.
So leveraged ETF, so people could go long with leverage. The institutional degens can go long institutional leverage with these ETFs, but also an inverse ETF. And this is the most interesting news from last week. We got the first senator, public official, disclosing an investment into XRP.
It's hard to keep up.
Guy, what a guy! Representative Guy, he's what a guy. Rechtenthaler. There we go.
Wow. Okay. Well, good for him.
Good
so so it's not just Uber drivers. It's members of Congress as well.
Congress.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's this which we talked about previously, the strategic reserve, proposed strategic reserve. We could get potentially here. XRP has been mentioned, and
that's an interesting headline, isn't it? Trump may be considering sole XRP and USDC alongside Bitcoin.
They've caveated it quite well, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Trump may be considering me for Secretary of Defense, for all we know.
You can't disprove it. You can't disprove it. You can't disprove it, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I say, it's the sort of thing that I would have ruled out as just fantasy not so long ago. Now I'm not so sure.
One more thing I want to show you guys on the XRP side is this from JP Morgan. This was an analysis more specifically related back to those ETFs that shows the potential penetration when it comes to potential inflows into these ETFs. And they use the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETPs as a benchmark potentially in terms of how much could flow into it. And they have a range of between 3 to 6% in terms of total AUM or total market coins going into these ETFs. And in the case of XRP, they say it ranges between 4.3 to 8.4 billion flowing into these ETP assets if they are approved in the first 6 months. So that's interesting. That's obviously going to be price positive if the market makers have to go out and buy XRP to put into these ETF custodians. But on another coin they looked at there as well in terms of potential market penetration, as you can see on the chart here, guys, is of course Solana and Sol, which of course brings us onto Sol. Now, this is a chart I pushed over the weekend on Twitter. It's basically like looking at the Sol TVL. Obviously, it's going through all-time highs, just because obviously the meme coin launch is one of them. Because everyone and their mom, and this is my thesis, is like, because Trump has launched his own meme coin, it's kind of like open the floodgates to whoever wants to launch their meme coin, go ahead, guys. And he's chosen the chain of choice, and that would be Solana. So everyone's going to be launching on Solana. And the search term for Solana is surging. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, it wasn't so long ago we were talking about our meme coins dead.
But Guy, let's important to point out here, many meme coins did die over the weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
Many of them, it was not a meme coins super cycle for all. It was all these 2 meme coins. So, let's see, because if you have a lot of different launches and Trump has 20 different meme coins for all of his family, I suspect it's not going to be good for everyone's general meme coin bag.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So, I mean, in terms of XRP, I mean, it's hard to remember a time when you had so many sort of bits of good news kind of converging for one particular crypto. It's because we didn't really talk about the fact that obviously Gary Gensler leaving the SEC, Brad Garlinghouse was pictured having dinner with Trump not all that long ago. So it really seems like the stars have aligned for XRP over the last few weeks. And I mean, if this America first crypto narrative continues to sort of chug along, continues to build up steam, you can imagine that will only be good for XRP and possibly Sol as well, which is having another moment.
100%. And we've got an updated Solana video, which should be with you guys tomorrow, with an update and look at all the latest tech upgrades and as well as price potential as well. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Before we have a look at last week's top gainers, I think you can probably guess what at least some of them are. I want to give a quick shout out to our new brand partners. As you can see, we've got a couple of logos at the top of the screen. This is a first for us. Nic, do you want to talk us through? Talk the good people through.
So this is important. These are brand partners. We've basically signed a deal with Binance and Ledger as our 2 first brand partners. Now, this is important to point out. What this means is it's not like a sponsorship or any description. We've never done sponsorships on the channel. We don't want to have to rely on any sort of coins or projects. Hey, can we pay you to talk about our project? We don't do that. We've never done that. It's important for our impartiality. But this brand partnership, it's important because these are crypto service providers. And I couldn't have thought of 2 better crypto service providers out there. One, obviously, in the importance of self-custody and having your own hardware wallet. And Ledger is probably the best known one in the game. And then, of course, Binance, right? The top tier, the biggest exchange there is, right? Yeah. And these are important brand partnerships because unlike a sponsorship of any sort of type, they're not paying to sponsor a piece of content. It's like a long-term relationship where we'll also benefit from potentially going to potential events, also potentially going to Paris to go and see the Ledger offices themselves and see the dungeon beneath where they work on these hardware wallets. We've got those tech geeks working on penetration testing to test it out. And also releasing information about stuff that they're working on and new insights and alpha for our community. For example, I will let you guys know that potentially coming out today, Binance is releasing their 2024 update and 2025 predictions. It's a 135-page report, really interesting. I took a read through it, and you guys is coming out today, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
We'll discuss some of the findings in that maybe in next week's stream.
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of good stuff coming. We're really happy to have them as our brand partners, as you can see right here. And I will say, guys, of course, if you don't have a hardware wallet, well, now you know where to find one. A link will be in the description, as well as if you happen to don't have a Binance account, then you can look in the description as well and create one there.
Yep. Buy it on Binance, store it on a ledger. Simples. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at last week's top performing cryptos, the top gainers from last week. You won't be at all surprised to know that the main top gainer was, of course, official Trump. Very much came out of nowhere. It's number 18 I'm seeing there. 18th largest. Just let that sink in. Obviously, no point doing
no point. We've already covered that. I mean, it's it's just madness, the madness of the crowds.
Yeah.
Fartcoin, interestingly, well, hot air rises.
Hot air continues to rise.
It will always rise. But yeah, there was an interesting explanation, which we saw. Yeah, it's true. This is true.
Yeah, I think that's it's Fartcoin just continues to do a lot of mind share on crypto Twitter as well, as has the next top gainer, which is SPX 6900.
I'm really surprised by that. Interesting. The cult is strong. The cult is strong with it, even amidst that liquidity drain. It's held up better than the likes of Wirf, Popcat, all the others. Pepe. Well done.
This is one of Murad's
biggest holding.
This is his biggest holding. Okay,
Murad. Highest conviction coin.
Building up a cult. I think you can say SPX 6900 is probably now a cult coin.
It's a cult coin.
Yep. Don't underestimate the importance of a cult. Okay. The next is Radium. That was a big performer last week. Yep. No surprises that for a while, until the centralized exchanges kind of muscled in on the action. That was one of the places where you could buy all this stuff. Yeah. Because I think basically all of these coins are on Solana that we're talking about today, all the big gainers. So Radium obviously picking up a lot of volume there. And last but not least, it is, of course, official MELANIA meme.
Oh man, no further words needed.
No further comments, Your Honor. Okay, so that was last week's top gainers. One of the crazier ones we've done of that. I just want to contextualize, Nick. Last week when we did this show, we went to the top gainers and there were none.
None. Exactly.
Nothing had gained. This is how
even the stable coins are depegged to the downside.
Even, this is how quickly it turns around, folks. This is how quickly. I'm so tired. Okay, let's have a look at some tweets of the week as well.
There we go.
Oh, I always miss that. Such a nice little segue, and I always ruin it. Okay, this first tweet from the DeFi investor: how to buy crypto Google searches just hit an all-time high. First one in 4 years.
There we go, man. They coming. Retail is coming, guys. Get ready.
Bullish.
Get ready.
Okay. This next one, Zach XBT. Now, oh
God. Oh man.
So Berwick Law, a load of people who lost money on Pump.fun meme coins decided to sue Pump.fun.
Their name,
they're idiots.
They put, I'm surprised they're willing to put their name on a lawsuit, because it's kind of like, look at me, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. It's take an L. Like, you gambling on Pump.fun. Don't always resort to go and utilize the American legal system, jam in the court system full of these spurious cases. It's just ridiculous. Learn from your lesson.
I think there are a few things as pathetic. You see this a bit. This has happened before, isn't it? There are a few things as pathetic as people going all in on random meme coins and then throwing their toys out the pram and suing when things don't get their way. Just stop.
Eat it and go back.
But eat the L.
Eat the L, man. Yeah.
Okay. This next one is from 0x Googly. Oh my God.
What's funny about that guy? Wait, who's the girl?
You're familiar with who this girl is?
No, who's this innocent-looking girl?
Okay. Well, I can't really explain that to you on screen.
Really?
So
I'm missing the joke here. Can you just please explain?
Once we're done,
but our audience, maybe audience members who also don't know who she is. I'm missing an inside joke here.
I'm sure the watching audience is a lot more worldly than you are, Nick. So after this stream is done, I will take you to one side and I'll explain to you who this.
I got to do my own research. What's her name, at least?
Her name is. I won't say. It doesn't matter. Look, just. It's not fun holding ETH right now. Okay, I say this as an ETH holder. Good grief. Okay, this next tweet is from Bob Lucas. We featured a few of Bob's tweets before. He's always got a good take on things. If you use rationality in a mania, you're going to miss out.
Damn straight, man. Doesn't matter what's happening. When the FOMO hits, you just do you want to be right, or do you want to get rich? It's just the truth, man. And the bubble can remain irrational. The markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. So bear that in mind. Don't mid-curve it, folks. Don't mid-curve it. And the last tweet of the week is this one from Punk9059. Trump went from president-elect to Satoshi Nakamoto to Hawk Tour over the course of 48 hours.
Damn.
What a character arc.
That is so true.
I have to say, honestly, we could be doing a 3-hour stream on all the great tweets that have been like nothing.
There's so many.
I find crypto Twitter sometimes just the worst place in the world, but when things are really kicking off, it can be just absolutely incredible because there are so many amazing takes.
Who needs Netflix, bro? Who needs Netflix?
Exactly.
Just a daily dose of crypto Twitter.
Yeah, it's just so much. It's so much drama. There's just so. Crypto Twitter is a fun place to be at the moment. And believe me, I don't say that very often. Okay, Nick, a couple of coins to watch from next week. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. I think coins to watch, probably all of them.
Everything. I mean, but if anything specific, there's maybe two events, like in terms of events to coming up that this week. One of them is the January the 22nd. This is actually I can't believe it's Davos again, the WEF, and there's this Web3 roundtable. And this is interesting because there are a few projects that are going to be partners and potentially, making announcements there or on panels and stuff. And they could release some updated roadmaps, and you can look at some of these projects. Two of them that's, I come to mind, obviously, are Aptos and Internet Computer, ICP, XI, which I think is the layer 3, which we've covered in the Coin Bureau Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Syscoin, that's 2017, bro. That's I don't know if it's still around. Crazy.
That's mad.
The WEF must definitely have a big bag of Syscoin.
Okay.
So that's coming on the January 22nd, and then on January the 25th we've got Katzenball, which is a major turning point for Jupiter, where the major platform unveils and key team initiatives will be shared. And of course, Jupiter is the second largest DApp on Solana. It's a DEX aggregator.
Did the Jupe airdrop recently?
Jupiter is still going through it. I think did it complete, or it's going through it right now in this January period. So a lot of excitement around Jupiter.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a couple of things to watch, a couple of coins to watch over the course of the week. And Nick, some dates for your diary as well.
Yeah, so Thursday the 23rd, this is a big economic data point out of the US, more on the employment side. Obviously, it will inform Fed policy potentially. We got initial jobless claims. Now, the previous was 217,000, and we're expecting 215,000. So check what the actual number is and compare it to the expected. That will help inform potential Fed policy. And then on Friday the 24th, we actually got a really big one as well. This is the BOJ interest rate decision.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
This is the first.
Not the Bank of Japan again.
They're going back at them again, man. Can you believe it? As if things weren't crazy enough this week, we could potentially have an unwind of the carry trade coming again.
Wow.
I will caveat, though, that the Bank of Japan, look, the odds are about 80% they're going to go ahead, and this will be the highest rate that the Bank of Japan has had, the increase in rates that they've had for 17 years. There's an 80% chance they're doing it, but the Ueda, who I think is the Bank of Japan governor, said that it depending on not too much volatility, and also dependent on what happens from Trump's speech and policy. So he's also watching Trump's inauguration, being getting his cues from it. I got to be careful, because if there's too much market volatility and the markets are going crazy, we can't do this. We just add too much, they'll have to walk back or something.
Okay, the unwinding of the yen carry trade, folks. You thought you'd forgotten all about it, hadn't you? I have.
That's your calendar, man.
I have. It's back.
It's back. Wow.
Oh. Okay, so like I say, it's going to be volatile, folks. It's going to be absolutely wild. I think it's also going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not going to be for the faint-hearted.
Also, regularly touch grass, for your sanity.
Yeah. Absolutely. Make sure you get out there and touch grass. It's going to be very important. It's only going to get more important. Okay, so that brings us to just about it for this week's stream. Let me just see if I've got any. There's so many comments today. I think we've definitely hit high in terms of viewers today.
Oh, really?
How are we doing on the likes front, by the way?
1,400.
1,400.
Oh.
Okay, it had to be 1,500 likes for me to.
Guys, come on, please. I want to hear this offer, man. I can't.
Let's share a couple of comments. He-Man got the power. Nick is a G.
Joking, bro. Yeah,
there
man.
we are.
There we go, man.
Okay. This one from Mick S. If Trump Memecoin turns out to be a scam and a rug pull, can he ever go to jail? Just asking for a friend. I mean, well. I don't this is a question for 4 years' time.
No,
I
definitely
think.
not.
Happy Inauguration Day from us in Australia. Okay. A few people complaining about Phantom Wallet. My Phantom Wallet is taking its last breath. Yeah, it's been
running on overtime and exactly, burning out.
Yeah. And now apparently I saw a few comments like this. But Nick, can you translate? Both of you looking jugged up. What does jugged mean?
Buff, like juiced. What do you guys think? Juiced.
Anyone familiar with Gen Z slang here?
Gen Z slang, is this Gen Z slang or
jugged? I'm going to hench. Okay.
Hench. Oh, okay. Cool. All
right, I'll take that.
Lucky guy. Well done. You've been working out, man. There you go. Got some competition in you guys.
Yeah, all righty.
It's heating up,
Let's do it. Hench stream. Okay. Someone making a point here, El Morte. Well, at least a failed swap on Solana is a fraction of a cent, where it would be $75 on Ethereum.
That is so true. That is true.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are plenty of alternative L1 devotees who would take issue with this, but it's an interesting talking point. No other chain would be able to overcome load that Solana had to go through for the past 72 hours.
I would agree. agree. A lot of these other L1s, first of all, they wish they had a trial that Solana had over the past week. They wish they don't, but they're not even getting any TVL, any sort of transactions going through. But it's all theoretical until you actually put things into practice. And Solana's been put through its real, trial by fire. So, all the more reason for that fire dance to come out now. Yeah. Gosh, that's interesting because you talk about these other highly performative L1s, the likes of Aptos or Sui or whatever. It's like, in theory, they could be quote unquote better than Solana, but they've yet to be tested. So exactly. I think that's a good point. Maybe, do you think like Base or something like that would have been able to handle this sort of level? Base is the only other one that sort of comes to mind. Base is quite centralized with Coinbase as a sequencer, and it's an L2 potentially, but I don't know what the fees could have been like in terms of like blob settlement and all that, and how it would have impacted on Ethereum main chain potentially. But it's a lot easier to get onto Solana than it is to go, through Base, and got to go and bridge and all that stuff.
Yeah. Good comment. Someone pointing out that the whole thing about jugged, Guy took that one comment I made weeks ago to heart. Did someone make a comment saying I was looking not jugged? Probably. Well, I did take it to heart, and I've basically been doing nothing but pumping serious iron ever since.
And he's been drinking a lot of protein shakes, bro.
Yeah, protein shakes, all that sort of stuff. So glad it paid off. Okay, when is bull market top, please, guys?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Most of the consensus is potentially around, it's generally in previous cycles, 18 months after the halving. So to put it if the last halving was in May, put it sometime in Q3 this year. That's what many people are expecting. But if you watched our video on top predictions for 2025, we said that it could happen sooner or earlier, depending on, these factors that we see with regards to regulation and legislation. Because if there is a Bitcoin reserve, and if it's the one that, the limitable is, which is buying 250K Bitcoin a year, that itself is crazy, could potentially lead to an elongated, extended cycle. But most people are expecting and targeting around Q3. But we'll have to see what happens over the next 2 months or so.
Yeah. Someone with a good point on it here keeps format. When my normie friends insist on advice about how to buy shitcoins, that'll be my top signal. That's as good a way as any.
Well,
that is as good a way as any. If once your uncle texts you asking how to set up a Phantom wallet,
MELANIA, I want some MELANIA coin, please.
How do I get? Did you see someone tweeting? I want to buy some of the Donald Trump Memecoin.
Please tell me how.
But yeah, it's interesting to see, as we highlighted earlier, those search terms for how to buy crypto going skyrocketing. Yeah. This maybe isn't the way that we wanted everyone to hear about crypto. Trump and then MELANIA launching meme coins. But you can't always have exactly what you want, but it's certainly got
mass
people
adoption
talking.
Another way. It's not the mass adoption we wanted, but it's the mass adoption we got, and we got mass adoption. So.
We get the mass adoption we deserve.
we crypto degens deserve that kind of mass adoption. What a spitting way to get the mass adoption than the president-elect launching his own meme coin on chain through Twitter.
We truly are living in a simulation. Now, did we get to 1,500 likes? Oh, we did. Okay. All right. So I said I would.
Pressure, guy.
Said I would reveal a couple of coins that I bought recently, tokens, I should say, that I bought recently. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to get in on the AI agent meta.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of felt that I missed the boat on Virtual's protocol. I was interested in going for another infrastructure play, but I actually took on a lot of risk and went on an individual AI agent. So I bought some Vader AI.
Interesting.
Now, Vader is this AI is a kind of AI agent investment DAO.
So okay, so you allocate capital to the DAO, and then it will choose. You know, how much AUM does it have? So is it like a lot or?
Pass. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was. They had a couple of rounds that you could get in. Obviously, you had to hold Vader coins in order to get in, and they sold out in minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So I had a little punt on that. The other one. Now we were going to do a whole section on DeFi, DeFi/AI. But then Trump launched 2 meme coins, and we decided we had to talk about that.
Yeah.
So maybe next week we'll talk about that. But I went in on kind of a more infrastructure play for DeFi, and that was Griffane.
Griffane, yeah. There's quite a few in that are really interesting. Griffane, yeah. And Griffane, is that the token or is it the coin?
So yeah, it is a token. It is also a so it's kind of still in development. So obviously both of these plays are extremely risky.
Yeah.
So I didn't invest more than I can afford to lose. But Griffane is it's basically a platform that allows people to create AI agents and use kind of natural language prompts to get them to go and interact with DeFi, basically.
Okay, cool.
And that's one of the things I think is going to be hugely bullish this year, is getting more people into crypto, but abstracting away all the complex DeFi stuff. They get an AI agent, they tell it what they want, and off it goes.
Set their risk parameters, and then the AI agent just goes away and does it all for you.
Yeah. So highly speculative, but I was feeling the FOMO. I wanted to get a bit of exposure to both of those narratives. So so I went in on Vader and Griffane, and I believe I'm down on both.
But Guy, the most important question is, and I'm sure there's many viewers there at home would be wondering, where can I get this information? You know, where can I get what Guy's investing in?
If you want to see not just my portfolio, but the portfolio of the rest of the Coin Bureau team, including Mr. Safety First, Nic here, then the Coin Bureau Club is where we share all this information. It is our members-only subscription platform. We're building an incredible community there. Some really knowledgeable and engaged people over there, loving being members of Coin Bureau Club. So we'll leave a link if you're interested in the description. There's a lot more, obviously, in our portfolio.
Speaking of virtuals as well, one of our researchers picked up virtuals like last year, like October or something.
Yeah.
When it was just like a few cents. And a lot of the other AI agents as well, and most of the community have been following this, and the gains that we've seen on some of those, if you'd bought when he suggested, and also said it was about at the top, was about 50, 90. There was also AI XBT, there was AI16Z, like these are all picked up there.
Yeah.
So if you guys want that alpha, you know where to go. Coin Bureau Club, link down below.
Absolutely. One last comment just from Sad. Do you think the AI agents narrative is over, or is it just beginning? Nothing else was talked about until this Trump meme. Absolutely. Things move so fast in crypto. You sometimes say, is that it? Was that AI agents? I personally believe AI agents are going to be a huge narrative this year.
We talked about this in the week news. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We had quite an in-depth discussion around are AI agent, and especially the tokens related to them. Are they just AI agents with meme coins bolted on? Is there any sort of utility? We also have a virtuals protocol, a review and video out that talks about these as well, and a top AI agents video as well on the main channel, which we can link to below. So you guys can take a look at those as well for more perspective. But it's definitely one of these things where my view is that at least 99% of these AI agent meme coins are going to go to zero, but the 1% that don't will transform the industry, will transform AI. Because it is important to have a token economy around these AI agents, because they need to be able to engage in commerce with other AI agents. And also from the investments perspective, you need a token economy if you invest in a DAO, and the AI agents, you need to invest with crypto, right?
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Yeah, there's, I think, AI agent, a huge amount of potential. It's going to be volatile like the rest of it, but a very exciting sector of crypto. Okay, that is about it for today, folks. The inauguration is going to be happening pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wild day. It's going to be a wild week. It's going to be a wild year. So we're looking forward to bringing you updates throughout it all. That Solana video is coming your way very, very soon. Tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow, indeed, yes.
Yeah.
And then a few more, yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back next week. We will see you then.
See you then.
Just had to get that in, didn't you?
I just had to get it in. I'm sorry.
Get that in.
I love the money gun, bro. I love the money gun. I'm sorry.
I started crying of laughing as I saw you in the back row. You guys are just the best. Hello, fellow Dutchies. Holland. Let's go, Dutchies. Holland. Ha 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 ha. These guys, ha 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 ha. Freak out. Ha 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 ha. These guys, ha 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 ha. Freak out. Let's go. Relaxation coin. Ooh, Ella Sailor. Nice. Bye. Vibes. Ha 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 ha. These guys, ha 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 ha. Freak out. Let's go. Relaxation coin. Ooh, Ella Sailor. Nice bar vibes. Ha 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 ha. These guys, ha 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 ha. Freak out. Ha 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 ha. These guys, ha 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 ha. Freak out.
Oh, you made it to the end.
Now watch these.